Hey friends, GC Hero here, coming at you with some replay analysis for my Earth Machine. I had made a deck profile with some basic combo guide, but now I wanted to kind of show the deck in action. So I hope you enjoy watching the games as much as I enjoyed playing them. Alright, here we are, game one. This is going to be versus Virtual World. We are lucky enough to go first. So we're going to go with Mark of the Metal Cruncher. And we're going to actually search out the train here. The reason I go for the train is since we already have the Dozer for like a combo, we want to see if we get on the rank 10. So links we summon a River Stormer, get the Bullet Train. Very standard stuff. Gonna link that off into a Goliath. Use Trencher to give us another Affinity track back, so we can go to another Goliath. Then proceed to link off both Goliaths into Ballista. Ballista will get us our Ancient Gear box. We also summon Dairy Crane here. Now, this is meant to be a chain block. I have heard other players stating that this actually interaction, so it works in the TCG. Apparently, Master would maybe work more on the OCG rules. So this chain block with a Dairy Crane may not actually work. But I haven't encountered that myself. Usually when I do this and that, or they would have, and typically they ash you or negate your effect much earlier in the combo for the attempt. But just a heads up on that. Do that. Box. Box, we have this Tunneler. We use Tunneler's effect to special summon it. Then we link it off into Goliath. Link off the Goliath and the Bullet Train into good Anger Knuckle, Angry Boy. Alright, then we get our draw. And now, deviating from the standard, usually you will end up on just Anger Knuckle because you want to keep the Bullet Train in your grave because it'll get you another card back in your hand. But because we were able to get another train, we're going to bring it back this turn so we can go ahead and summon Super Dora. But we also get some card draws. We hit a Machina redeployment, which is huge, so we get Fortress and Citadel. We use Fortress effect to discard Citadel, get that in the graveyard, and get Fortress on the field. Looking for a very strong turn one, and if having a Tribute. So we have a lot of disruption plays against our opponents. So we attempt to Maxium. He strongly disagrees with the decision, and this was like cross out Designator. And now we're gonna have this on fast forward as we try to explain. Now, what I'm thinking here, I try to disrupt him, and I probably should have waited. I saw the tuner and I wanted to pop it right away. Kind of throw him off by like discarding that, making Dora invincible and getting Dairy Crane out. However, this deck's quite resilient, so I go ahead and tribute so I can get Citadel out. This will wipe his board and give me another essential board wipe with the Citadel. And not for nothing, this deck is resilient. As you can see, our friend here is going hard in the paint. We use Citadel. Now this is a very key interaction here. So Citadel's effect states that when you can target one machine monster, destroy it, and then destroy everything on your opponent's field with equal or less attack. Keep in mind, the machine you target just needs to be targeted, doesn't actually need to be destroyed. So we actually targeted Super Dora here, because it would stay on the field and we'd still get the value. So wisely, he thinks I'm targeting Citadel, I believe, and tries to take Citadel out. Either way, you probably want to get rid of it. So he does get to pop our Citadel. But we target Super Dora, we get the value still. Wiping his board again. We stop the value train. Top decking Ash wasn't exactly our happiest play here, but so here's something to note. We do pass here. The one line of play we could have done was after test swinging in was go to Goliath, and then summoning our River Stormer back from the graveyard using its effect to tribute a Link monster, and then search from there. I believe we do that next turn. We realize that line play next turn. We also negate this. Probably should have waited not on that effect. Waited for one of the in-hand effects. Seemed to be better at disrupting this deck. Like this would have been better to negate. But our opponent continues showing his resilience. So I believe he goes into Utopia double? There's a lot of Utopia guys. We're gonna see. No, Utopia Beyond. So I try to protect my Super Dora. Wisely, he counteracts that. The gate. So he's gonna pop Super Dora, however that does bring back Citadel. As you can see the deck grind game. I think this showcases our ability, and then he gets Kiwi Shen we side. Let's pop that because we want our machines to go to the graveyard and really. Anyway, but then that puts Train in the graveyard, which lets us get Gearbox, which lets us another Trencher. Chop take a heavy forward, let's just go into Harvester. The Goliath, get Riverstormer back. And we're able to just search for cards. Get Metal Cruncher. Metal Cruncher will allow us to get the Fortress back, and that's game. So you see we had like nothing in our hand, and all of a sudden we were able to just generate resources while disrupting our opponent's board. I think this really showcases like the grind game of, you know, be able to like kind of disrupt your opponent's combos as well as build your own board up and kind of grab resources needed. Alright, here we are to game 2. We're versus Pendulum Magicians here. And it's nice to kind of showcase a game where we go second and don't really have any hand traps to kind of show what we can do with this deck here. So I'm going to go fast forward. Let's see this is combo. I will slow it down a bit, maybe even pause when he gets to his end games and board states, and I kind of want to see, you know, I'll explain my lines of play and thinking. Right now, Mans is doing his thing. Electromite's goofy helmet shows up, you know it is. Execrute-mite, am I saying that right? I'm saying that wrong. Doing my best here. I read the card effects, so I feel like that I don't need to read the names correctly. But you know, he's doing his thing. He ends up on like, yeah, Celine and Barrel Load Savage Dragon. So that's spooky. Let me slow that down. So now he has an Omni Negate here. You know, and we're kind of spooked by that. So we want to bait this Omni Negate so it doesn't hit us at a critical time. So we have a couple lines of play. We go with Metal Cruncher just because he's the clunkiest card, and this is like the best on summon when you have nothing on. We don't want, and we'll see. Well, you know, we decided we were gonna go on a Metal Cruncher. We go for the train, so we have the heavy forward here. So if we're hoping he would negate it, but since he doesn't negate it, we decided to go for the train, because then you want to use the train effects to try to bait out the Barrel Load Savage Dragon there. So we play the Express Villa Train. He takes the bait, which is so huge. So now we've got the negate out the way. We're free to kind of play the way we want and kind of react more appropriately to his board. So we go in heavy forward, grab the Dozer, and then we're going to go ahead and exceed into our River Stormer. We got a Trencher. We had Trencher in hand, so Teller may have been better, but either way. We do deviate from the combo, get Fortress, as we wouldn't like kind of take this board apart. Like, want to crash in Fortress to take out the Lord, get rid of that threat, and then try to steal one of his monsters. Hold it hostage would be cute. But this wasn't Link 3. Realistically, we probably want to take her out. I don't think you had to worry about too much pendulum value. I think we would have been fine with that. But something to think about. So we end with Tribute. There was a line to play to continue with our combo there. A bit, but since we deviated, I decided to kind of chill back and try to get a good tribute off. And boy, was this a good tribute. This is Pendulum Summon. Let's kind of fast forward. We had so many cards. And one thing to note, we could have tributed here, but read the cards. Like, for instance, this is summoning something. So just wait for this to summon something else and then tribute. It's a fun interaction because this would have resolved and we could have wiped the board, but whatever he summoned would have gone back, allowing him potential value. Then we tribute, wiping the board. We Ash Blossom because he's so low on resources that we decided like we can just cut him off now. No, like he needs that draw pretty badly. Get a Harvester, he destroys our Harvester, but we're not too worried about that. But we still get the draw, and because we see he's destroying our Harvester, we get our Tunneler here. And then we're gonna use Fortress effect to discard cards. Normally we're going to use Metal Cruncher to get Fortress back, but Trencher and Tunnel have great graveyard effects, so we decided we're just going to, you know, bin both of those, get our Fortress back, and then get their value off. Getting Harvester, use the Harvester second effect to get a rank 9. Earth Slicer, use the Heavy 4 to attach itself to Earth Slicer and then pop his entire back row. Just leaving them empty. Then go into Fortress. And of course we're going to use Citadel to get some card draws. Not optimal use, you know, we got all the Link monsters in there. But we just want to draw 2 cards. Getting an Ash Blossom and an Overdrive is fantastic. 2 ways to interact with our opponent. He sees the writing on the wall, doesn't quite get the top deck he was hoping for. And we were able to snag that win. And here we are on to game 3. We are first in like Thunder Dragons Invoked. So we do a very standard opener into our one card combo. Here's the Ash Blossom. Luckily we have the Called by the Grave to kind of shut that down. Called by being very critical in this deck, I've learned. As everyone's kind of playing Ash and Naxi now, Called by in this deck allows you to kind of negate those effects and continue your combos and play through. And stop your combos from being interrupted, of course. That's standard stuff. Doing a standard winner combo. Getting our pieces in the graveyard. This game showcases 2 things. A bit of the explosiveness of the deck as well. I'll show the resource loop between Bullet Train, Anger Knuckle, and Box. You'll be able to see that, which is nice. So this is more like the most standard opener you'll have with this deck. I believe we do draw into Fortress here. So we do summon the Fortress by ditching Citadel, which is huge for us. Getting Harvester and ending there. So we get Thunder Dragon stuff going, you know, thin his deck out a bit, very nice. Gets the Alistair out, Vacation. Gets Alistair in the graveyard, summons Artemis. We decided we just want to we're going to ditch the box to get the Bullet Train out. And it kind of forced him to want to destroy it. In a couple of lines of play, you could leave Bullet Train and wait for, like, towards the end to bring it back with Anger Knuckle. Because keep in mind, so Bullet Train has the downside that for it to attack, it does need you to just tribute 2 cards inside of your field. However, Anger Knuckle negates these effects. So Bullet Train is actually now a 3000k beater if left alone. So it's very attractive for your opponent to destroy it, but you also get the card draw. Now another interaction I want to note, we don't use Citadel. We don't use Fortress effect to pop this because it has a negation for destruction effects on itself. So we just pop his back row card. There's Monster Reborn, certainly enough. So luckily, as you can see the resource loop there, I'll kind of show it. Anger Knuckle lets you bring back, so they're all once per turn effects, but Anger Knuckle, quick effect, allows you to bring back Bullet Train. If you're able to get Bullet Train into the graveyard, that turn sent to the graveyard, you can bring back something. So you can discard with Anger Knuckle, enter your box, get Bullet Train back, find a way to send Bullet Train, maybe using as liquid material and then linking off to it to get in the graveyard, get your Anchor Gear box. Which effect is, when it's pulled from the deck or the graveyard to your hand, you'll be able to draw a Earth Machine monster with 500 and or defense, 500 attack and or defense. As you can see, that lets you generate a decent amount of resources. So we have the Dairy Crane, very happy about that. We decided where it's gonna go. We can actually kill him. We realized we can just kill him here using Gustav and Leeway. So we drop him 2,000. Gustav's effect's very key to note too. So you can attach a material and he gains 2,000 attack and defense. But during each battle phase, this card can make attacks on monsters up to the number of materials it has +1. It also, once you use its effect to boost its attack, it's the only monster you're allowed to attack with. But keep in mind, it can't attack directly, so we do not want a Dairy Crane here. We actually get rid of Gustav, but we don't want to pop anything. We just want to attack, and OTK him. So that's just like the explosive. So this was able to show us both the resource loop and how you can just generate resources as well as the burst potential of this deck. That, my friends, is the video. Currently playing Plat 2. Kind of want to show off our how we do. We did hit some snags here and there. For the most part, this deck is performing very well, and we've been able to climb without much trouble here and there, and even competing against some of the top decks. So definitely, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Any feedback is welcome. Feel free to ask any questions. And thank you so much for watching, and you have yourself a great day.